want to welcome you back here to Povich Field at the Cabin John Regional Park in Bethesda, Maryland. Tyler Gallo, Ben Bobek here for you in the broadcast booth at Povich Field, and I'm going to take over for these next two innings as you just missed Austin Gauthier from Hofstra strike out for the first out as there's Willits deals for a strike here to Kyle Velasquez, who went to St. Mary's. He's going to try to get the big train to break this tie here as he took a strike there for the first pitch of this at-bat. We want to apologize once again for our technical difficulties. It's our first broadcast. We'll get better at it as we go along in this summer, but we're ready to keep going as we move along as there's another strike to Velasquez. And Ben, what have you seen from this team so far, especially out of Luke Baker last inning?
Yeah, I mean, I talked a little bit, I think, in the prior inning about how both teams' batters have really come up to the plate with a little bit of aggression, swinging at early pitches as Velasquez chops that one foul. But, for Baker, I think he allowed his defense to pick him up. Pitched himself into a bases-loaded jam, allowed the one run, and eventually walked Cordell, the leadoff hitter, to load the bases there in the top of the first, but allowed his defense and allowed his teammates around him, who he hasn't known that long, to pick him up. Forced a really good pop-up from Maceda that nipped behind the dish, did a really good job of coming over and fielding basically straight in front of the T-Bolt's dugout. Not an easy play to make in that sun coming in from right field. And so just allowing your teammates to be there for you and clean up your mistakes a little bit, and Baker will be happy to have gotten through that inning with just one run allowed.
Right, as the defense, as that one's driven into right field, settling under it is the right fielder Maceda, and he's going to make the catch for the second out. But as I was touching on a couple seconds ago, the defense put him down and then picked him back up earlier in that inning. The bobble at second base there by Gauthier, trying to turn a double play, led it to a fielder's choice, and then the shift was all the way over to the left on the base hit in that inning by Dale Hauser. So it's just a tough one to swallow for anybody, but now stepping up is Brady Gump right there, who is going to try to get do something that his other teammates didn't, get on base here as he takes a strike. Gump, a pretty talented player. He is going to be a big part of this team going forward, and he's getting the start in the first game. So he takes a breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-2 quickly. So Gump just trying to settle in and maybe take some pitches to see what this pitcher's got, Willits, but Willits is just moving quickly. Gump out of Notre Dame, just a pretty tall guy out there. He's going to take another pitch. That one's in the dirt as a cloud comes up in front of the catcher, and there's 1-2.
Gump is going to be a disciplined hitter at the plate. The son of the Notre Dame head softball coach, his mother Deanna, up there in South Bend.
Willits sets and deals as that's chopped to third base. A nice play there by Miller. He's going to throw him out at first. An easy 1-2-3 inning, the first of the day for Willits, and we will head to the top of the third. back here on Big Train TV. Ben Bobek and Tyler Gallo here. I'm Tyler Gallo, though I should have introed myself first. But stepping in now for the T-Bolts is going to be Darren Miller, the third baseman, who made some nice plays out there in the field, but he's now facing Luke Baker, who needs to settle in here as he takes a swing and a miss. Big, hefty cut at that one for the first strike.
Yeah, interesting to see how Baker bounces back. Like we've already talked about the adversity he went through in the last inning. Of course, all of these players have faced so much adversity in the last 15 months. Everybody watching, I'm sure, has as well. Our friends and family supporting these players in whichever way they can. And, you know, that's something that Coach Colangelo down in the Big Train dugout has really preached about, is just getting back out there on the field and having fun. And like you mentioned, Tyler, that's something that Luke Baker especially wants to do. Didn't get to play, took a red shirt in the spring down at Jacksonville, and now is just looking to settle back into the rhythm that really made him so successful in high school. And he'll look to do that with pitches just like that one.
Yeah, that he blew right by Miller. And, you know, it's been a wild road for Baker, not only everybody else, but, you know, COVID obviously, but initially Ole Miss, like we said, then committed to Jacksonville a bit closer to home, was one of the top recruits, top left-handers out as that's fouled back and into the woods by Miller. So we're seeing now if the shadows come into play a little bit as the sun starts to settle behind the trees in the outfield, and it'll just settle into a nice evening at the ballpark here. Baker wearing some nice orange shoes out there. Not his school colors, obviously, as the Jacksonville Dolphins are green and gold as he deals, and that's fouled back to the screen. Back-to-back fouls from Miller, who seems to be on top of the pitches right now from Luke Baker.
Yeah, his school colors might blend in a little bit better than those high-vis orange spikes he's rocking right now, but game, respect game. And with a 2-2 count, he certainly can have a chance to show it off here for the third baseman, Darren Miller.
He sets and delivers, and swing and a miss. Hefty cut there once again from Miller, who was looking for everything but got nothing on that play. And Baker has a strikeout, his first of the night, I believe.
Second
of the night. That last inning was pretty crazy just in general for Baker, as the defense was bad but then good at the end of the inning. So, and now standing in is Jason Neff, the catcher. His first time up, he struck out. Baker would certainly love that to happen again.
Absolutely. Nothing like back-to-back strikeouts to start a half inning to get a pitcher's confidence back going. And if you look at the high heat that he threw to Miller to get him there, I mean, that's not something that an unconfident pitcher would throw, so to say.
And 2 quick strikes from him, Baker, as he's moving really fast here. Just gets the sign, goes in and throws. And exactly what you want to see out of the pitcher. A lot of the best pitchers in MLB actually just move quickly, as here's another pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him. Back-to-back strikeouts for Luke Baker, and he is settling in here.
3 pitches, 3 strikes there for the southpaw Baker. And, you know, I talked about his goal for the season was trying to find the rhythm. You can really tell he had it in that at-bat.
Yeah, just blew away Jason Neff, the catcher, who had no chance, and that's his second strikeout of the day, halfway to a sombrero. And now standing in is Tommy Dunleavy, the left fielder. He singled in the last inning, his last time up, as he takes the pitch for a strike, and he is just mowing them down. Everything's hitting the zone here for Luke Baker, and we know all the talent this guy has, and it's sort of coming out in this first game.
6 straight strikes, I believe.
That's exactly what you want to see out of any pitcher as he delivers another, the 0-1, swing and a miss. Is that 7 consecutive strikes for Luke Baker, who is just going out there and having a back half of just a great back half of this inning. And now Baker gets the sign from Nip, the catcher from Alabama. So Ole Miss and Alabama, the battery there originally. Now it's just Jacksonville. Taken for a ball, a bit high, and I know Baker wanted that one. That one was closer than not.
Maybe a single ball high of the numbers across the chest there of Tommy Dunleavy. You can understand, you're not always going to get those calls, but
right.
When you're in such a rhythm, you kind of hope for it. That would have certainly been a way to end the strikeout of the side there here in the top of the third. But now evens the count at 2-2, and we'll have to work a little bit.
Yeah, Dunleavy just spits on the curveball in the dirt there. No chance on that one for going out or getting a hit on that one, as Baker is ready right away. And Dunleavy tries to throw him off as much as he will, but Baker is ready to throw immediately. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on a pitch way out of the zone. That's another strikeout for Baker. Strikes out the side in the top half of the third, and the Big Train will come up. Due up next inning, it's going to be Nip, Foster, and Cone. We'll see you then. back here at Povich Field on Big Train TV. Tyler Gallo and Ben Bobek here in the broadcast booth at beautiful Povich Field in downtown Rockville. The sun's starting to settle behind the trees, which is perfect for this broadcast now.
Much more beautiful without the sun straight in your eyes, eh, Tyler?
Right, we can actually see the entire field. Now, there's a new pitcher on the mound for the T-Bolts. It's going to be Joe Sarich, no relation to Corey, the hockey player that played for the Tampa Bay Lightning and Calgary Flames, as stepping in now for the Big Train is going to be Grant Knipp, the catcher out of Alabama. And this guy, let me tell you, was hitting absolute missiles in batting practice yesterday. Cleared the trees, maybe went onto the fields that juxtapose this field across the way there, Ben.
I don't know. Why don't you tell me, the king of the shag here out beyond the fence, Mr. Tyler Gallo. But yeah, Knipp absolutely has power to every alley here at Povich Field. And maybe one of the few players on the roster, along with designated hitter Matt Thomas, that can threaten that batter's eye in straightaway center field. But, you know, after two pretty strong innings from Josh Willits, Brock Hunter, the head coach of the T-Bolts, will head to his own southpaw, Joe Sarich, to try to answer Colangelo with Luke Baker. And, you know, just staying on Baker for a second, you know, we talked a little bit about how he struggled through the top of the second inning, and what a response for him to come back with 3 swinging strikeouts in the top of the third as Knipp swings through strike 2. I mean, that is exactly what Colangelo is looking to see from players in these exhibition games. That is exactly the point of these games, is to try to see how players handle certain situations, to try to see how players will handle different mental adversity and stressors that are thrown at them throughout the length of this summer.
Yeah, and as Knipp takes a walk there, it looks like Baker's going to continue in this game. Nobody else up in the pen for the Big Train right now. Sarich comes on and has the worst thing possible, allows a leadoff walk, which is sort of a smell blood inning right now. T.J. McCants is going to run out the oven mitt, the oversized oven mitt, which my father does not like very much on any player. But that's just to protect their hand from sliding in. But here's Darius Foster, who's got all the tools to be a great player right now, and he singled on the first pitch of the game and came around to score after an error. So Foster right here looking to get this runner over, maybe get on with yet another one of those trusty singles that he had in the first inning. Sarich checks the runner at first base, looks over. Here's the first pitch. Inside, way inside, that's going to get to the backstop, and that's going to go all the way. McCants actually replaces Knipp at first base and is going to go to second. McCants, pretty speedy, comes out there as a pinch runner.
Yeah, McCants, a late arrival here to the Big Train. Just got in from his school, and how about an immediate impact there? Doesn't even have his team-issued jersey there. Of course, Ole Miss playing down in I believe they're hosting the regional, actually.
And that's going to go into the left field for a base hit, but stopping, putting on the brakes hugely at third is McCants. And Foster is on the board yet again with his second single of the game. And we know he can hit pretty well. He's been here before. This is nothing new for him.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Foster, we'll show a clip of him later. Don't want to spoil too much there, but he's a guy who's been around Big Train before. He was here in 2019, a very impactful part of that championship season, and getting right back to it, back-to-back singles to start off his 2021 summer.
And here comes the Shohei Ohtani of this team, Jack Cohn. He can hit, he can pitch, but he's going to be doing mostly hitting this summer as he deals with a shoulder injury. Maybe he'll start to pitch later in the summer as he takes a strike on the first pitch from Sarich, who has backed himself into a hole in this inning. Runners on the corners with nobody out. The second pitch now way outside for a ball, and it's 1-1. So Sarich, the throws left. He's 6'3" and 210, and he's coming out of Louisiana Tech, the sophomore out of Louisiana Tech, and he's from Georgetown, Texas. So he's a far away from home as that's popped way up into no man's land into the outfield of the foul ground, and he makes the catch. That is the shortstop there, Oxier, making a great catch. Excuse me, that's the third baseman, Miller, making yet another great defensive play. We've seen 2 from him thus far in the game, and that's a big, big out for Joe Sarich.
Yeah, it's the similar situation that Baker faced back in the second, first and third now with 1 out. You want to at least get that first out on the board when you have runners threatening like this, especially facing the heart of this Big Train roster right now with Sean Ewell, the lefty, first baseman up at the dish right now.
What a pitch that was from Sarich. A breaking ball just faded right into the zone for the first strike. And, Sean Ewell drew a walk his first time up. Sean Ewell, we saw him in batting practice as well, had a pretty big display yesterday. Here's the second pitch now. Another breaking ball and another strike. So Sarich got that bender working already in this at-bat. Sean Ewell trying to get that elusive runner in from third base. TJ McCants just wearing a practice shirt, it looks like, wearing a batting practice shirt. No jersey. Yeah, there goes Foster. The throw down is not even going to be close to being in time. Safe. That ball was bounced. There was no chance to get Foster, who stole, I believe, 38 bases in 39 games for San Francisco, so he can run, and everybody knows it. And they will still try to throw him out, and they probably won't get him. He's led the league in stolen bases several times, and this is his chance to continue that this year.
Second and third here for the Big Train, just one out. It's a good spot for Sean Ewell at the plate. Just put the ball into play and let your runners make things action, as this one could be way more than that.
Driven deep into the gap, way to the wall. That's going to score two. Foster almost laps McCants, puts on the brakes hard at third and slips, but he's going to get back to second base, and it's going to be an RBI double, a 2 RBI double for Nolan Sean Ewell. Gave that one a charge right back to the SBC Financial banner in right center, and the Big Train have a 2-run lead now on one swing of the bat.
Yeah, I mean, that is just massive. Just after me saying any contact, how about some pure contact straight into the open gap out there in right center. Really solid contact there, and even better base running by Sean Ewell to have his head up, see Coach G down at the third base line giving him the stop sign, and keep his feet enough. May stumbled a little bit there. Nobody's going to give him stick for that as hard as he was turning second, maybe looking for 3. But again, able to keep his composure, get back to that bag, and stay in there with a beautiful 2 RBI double.
And maybe if it was hit to a little bit shorter part of the ballpark, it could have gone out. That ball one-hopped the fence. Here's the pitch from Sarich to Matt Thomas, the designated hitter. He takes it outside for a ball, and it's 1-1. So that ball he gave a charge to. That ball was crushed, and we saw him do that all day yesterday at batting practice. Put balls, sprayed them all over the outfield. As Sarich, it sure just comes to be all coming down on Joe Sarich right now. That ball is laced into right field. Going back is the right fielder on the track at the wall. He makes a nice catch, and tagging for third is going to be Sean Ewell. So he gets to third base, but Thomas almost hits one out.
Yeah, I think that, you mentioned Sean Ewell himself was pretty close out there by the SPC Financial banner, so beautifully hung up in right center field. Well, meanwhile, on the a little bit further towards the foul line, Maceda had a long run in him all the way against that chain link fence. Not an easy play. A little bit easier now that the sun's not shining down from behind him, but he had a while to go for that. Matt Thomas, again, very familiar with this ballpark, very, very familiar with how deep it is, and just couldn't quite get that last foot he needed for his first, what would have been his first home run of the summer.
So a quick 2-0 count for Rocco Pepe now, who was also absolutely demolishing baseballs in batting practice. We saw a lot of these BP legends out here yesterday, but you mentioned the banner, yeah, I mean, and the outfield wall. There's no give on that outfield fence, so a nice play regardless. That's way inside, 3-0. So we'll see if he has the green light here. We'll see what the sign is from the coach as Rocco Pepe looks into the dugout. He's probably going to have the take sign here, as nowhere close Sarich has been this entire at-bat.
Yeah, 3-0. We'll see what Pepe does here. I mean, if he gets...
He hits one deep to center field, but that ball is going back on the track at the wall. It's off the top of the fence, and that's going to score a run. Pepe goes to second, and now they're just tattooing Joe Sarich on the mound. 3 absolute missiles to the outfield, and the Big Train are smelling blood right here.
Yeah, I mean, even the out in between those 2 long fly balls from Sean Ewell and Pepe was very hard hit, tattooed, one might even say, by Matt Thomas. Big Train all over the stuff here from Sarich, and not surprised to see some stretching down there in the right field bullpen. Another pitcher running down there, maybe trying to get 2 catchers going.
And once again, another ball on the outside half from Gauthier. So he did have the green light on that one, and he almost hit a home run. I mean, we saw him clear that fence yesterday. It's pretty hard to get that one that deep. But good hit from Pepe. If anyone's going to go yard first, I think it's going to be him. As that's grounded towards the shifted over infield and a base hit. Rounding third and heading to the plate is Pepe. The throw-in is going to be cut off, and another RBI for the Big Train, who are just taking it to Joe Sarich. And I'm sorry, Ben, that you had the boring 2 innings.
No need to apologize to me. I'm just here so I don't get fined. And, again, contact after contact, and it's just been so well placed from the Big Train hitters in this one. We saw that same sort of scenario hurt them defensively in the top of the second, where the second baseman was playing just a tad, pardon me, too much towards the bag out there in the second base hole. And this time it hurts the T-Bolts even more, as it results in the 5th Big Train run, the 4th of this 3rd inning.
So what did they reward Luke Baker, who struck out the side with in the
some
third?
run support.
With some run support, exactly what they wanted. Pick him up there, and now standing in at the plate is going to be Kyle Velasquez, who flew out to right his first time up. And Velasquez, just looking to continue, keep the line moving here with 2 outs. As that ball is fouled back into the woods once again. We're going to see a lot of balls hit into the woods this year as woods surround the entire field. One thing we aren't hearing too much of, though, is those cicadas, Ben.
That may be the worst announcer's jinx of all time, Mr. Gallo. They do like to go to sleep around this time. You say the balls are getting hit into the woods. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear about a couple cicadas being the result of deadly manslaughter by way of baseball at some point throughout this season.
Yeah,
all
it's
around us in these woods.
Yeah, Brood X it is. Once every 17 years, I'd be as loud as possible if I was underground for 17 years and I came out.
They got plenty to talk about.
Yeah, they do. It's been
So do we.
Today that's taken for strike 3. So Sarich is going to close the inning out with a strikeout, but 4 runs come across as the Big Train lead it 5-1. We'll get to more on the cicadas when we come back. Back here at the Povich Field in Cabin John Regional Park, it is Tyler Gallo and Ben Bobick, and we have a new pitcher on the mound for the Big Train. It's going to be the sophomore. We have a dirtbag on the mound, a sophomore out of Long Beach State, Noah Carbajal. Carbajal coming in here looking to get in some action. We'll talk a little bit about Long Beach State, though. Their nickname, they're colloquially referred to as the Dirtbags, but their actual team name is the Beach. Lots of former Dirtbags in the majors. One of them I'm thinking of right now is Jeff McNeil, who plays for the New York Mets.
Shocker.
There's a couple other ones, Jason Giambi, Evan Longoria, and then Jared Weaver, who is a favorite player of someone, I believe, that is on this Big Train staff.
Zach Locke.
Yeah, Zach Locke's favorite player is Jared Weaver, which is a pretty obscure pick, but I like it.
Not that obscure for an Angels fan from Los Alamitos, California. So I'm sure we'll get the chance to talk about Zach Locke sometime here in the near future. But for now, our focus settles on Carbajal, the righty, 6'2", 175, out of the Sin City, Vegas. as he gets a nice swing and strike there to start off his evening here. 1-0, 8 innings pitched, a 4.5 ERA, 5 strikeouts, 4 walks in the past season for the Dirtbags of Long Beach State.
That's taken on the outside half for another ball. This is Dylan Oxier, the shortstop. He had a fielder's choice that led him to come around and score the last time he was up. The only run scored today thus far for the T-Bolts, who are trying to come back, mount a comeback. 5 runs on 5 hits. That's chopped to short or to second base. That's going to be an easy play for Gauthier. He's going to throw him out at first, 1 down.
A little bit of like a half bunt there, maybe off the middle of the bat as well. Certainly not the contact that Oxier was looking for there, as he grounds out for the first out of this 4th inning, Tyler.
Carbajal looking to settle in on the mound once again, as we've said for almost every pitcher. But what can you do after your team rewards you with 4 runs? Go out there and put up a 0, and that's exactly what Carbajal's looking forward to. You know, we said no one was warming up, but this must have happened. There's a swing and a miss on that one, or that's fouled back. It jumbled around back there behind home plate. We're not sure what happened. Carbajal, wearing number 28, is just going to look to get in some work here, as probably every pitcher is today. Oxier trying to do better than some of his teammates have in the last inning. Baker struck out the side. There's a ball in the dirt from Carbajal. The little split stance there from Nip behind home plate. Talented catcher, we know. If you can go to Bama, you're pretty talented as a catcher. Tough to crack the roster either way, though, as a freshman. Inside for a ball, and it's 2-1 now to Oxier.
I think it's definitely interesting to see how different catchers set up. You know, it's such a field position. You know, you're worried about the longevity of your knees. You want to make sure you're in the right position. This is an interesting spot, I think, for Nip. He's able to kind of push off that left knee, slide to his right to, you know, block anything down in the dirt, able to come back a little bit hard perhaps on that left side, but I guess with a righty throwing, more worried about going to the outside of the batter there, but instead it comes back inside for ball 4 and a walk to Dale Hauser.
Carbajal out of Vegas. Another prominent MLB player from Vegas is Bryce Harper. Carbajal obviously is not Bryce Harper, as he's a pitcher, but taking the plate now is going to be Marcus Brown, who singled his last time up and drove in a run on the play. So it's 1. The count got away there from him on Hauser from Carbajal, but he's going to try to get this batter and attack him here, as there's a swing and a miss on the high cheese. 0-1.
Straight after him with the heater there.
You can just hear the pop of the mitt. He's throwing it pretty hard. Not sure how hard, as we don't have the radar gun yet. Don't have those capabilities yet, but Carbajal trying to attack after giving up a 1-out walk.
4-year letter winner at Palo Verde. Vegas, really a rich baseball town.
It really is.
You mentioned Harper, who we don't really like to discuss in this town, as you'll come to know. But plenty of other big league games from that area. Of course, Harper's former Little League teammate, Chris Bryant, a man that shares your last name, Joey Gallo. Lots of names from the desert when it comes to America's pastime. Carbajal looking to continue that strong history here for the Bethesda Big Train.
And there's the back pick to first base, but not going anywhere is Hauser. So good call there from Nip, though, to throw behind the runner and try to get him out, as it's a strikeout. Happened to Brown on that play, a strikeout looking. And there's 2 down. So now standing in is Justin Carboni, the designated hitter, who struck out his last time up. Yeah, you mentioned just the baseball academy that's sort of in Las Vegas, not a specific school. As the runner goes, a throw down a second from Nip on the money, and he's gonna be safe, though. A little bit offline, not quite on the money, as I just said. A little bit offline, but that was it got him. It almost beat him to the bag.
Good low throw, just a little bit to the wrong side of the second base bag. Would have liked that a little more right for Gauthier to come in and field that, get that tag down a little bit cleaner. But good to see, you know, I think anytime a coach, you can live with a stolen base here, you know, with 2 outs, you know, the only runner on base, you can live with a stolen base there. I think you're just happy that ball didn't end up in the outfield grass.
Right, and they're up by 4, so they're going to try to do anything to get back in this game, are the T-Bolts. But a good throw regardless from Nip, just a little offline, showing that cannon of an arm. That's grounded to short. That's going to be an easy play there for Pepe. He's going to fire to first. That's a high throw, and he comes down, and I guess the runner coming to the plate is going to be safe. So an interesting sequence of events. The runner is going to come around to score. The smart run there by Hauser coming in. Safe at first as the throw was a bit bad from Pepe. He fielded it right, but couldn't get the runner out.
Just a little high there from.
Oh, that's Gauthier, excuse me. Gauthier was playing at short.
Gauthier's over at short. That's a tough play. It looks like our umps will come in and discuss that. I think Sean Ewell out there at first will say he was able to get the tag. Don't have the slow-mo replay capabilities to go and check that. But I think that's that sort of broken play. I think both sides really executed that pretty well. First of all, props to the second base umpire there. Showed off some nifty and nimble moves to get out of the way of that ball. Let Gauthier come up to field that. And then, a really good effort from Sean Ewell to catch it, get it around, and try to put the tag on, and then be smart enough to throw home, because on the other side, Hauser is doing what you're taught in the earliest stages of baseball, which when there's 2 outs, you just keep running. It's this thing Vladimir Guerrero really liked to espouse in the major leagues. Don't stop until the whistle's blown.
So that's laced into center field, but that's going to settle into the mitt of the center fielder Cone as they get out of it. Just one run comes across on the error by Austin Gauthier at short. Playing it short over in the shift, 5-2, middle of 4. One walk,
Yeah.
and then how many strikeouts? Leading off this inning for the big train is going to be Brady Gump, who grounded out to short his last time up. 4 runs came across the score in the last inning for the big train as the sun has settled behind the clouds, and you can see all the field now from the broadcast booth. But new pitcher now is going to be Culkin for the T-Bolts. That's grounded foul. That is Sean Culkin out of James Madison. He's a Silver Spring native, so local team, local guy, donning the jersey of his local team.
A lot of Silver Spring natives here. A lot of Maryland natives in general.
Culkin, the 3/4 delivery. The breaker goes on the outside half, and it's 1-1. No relation to Macaulay Culkin, I'm pretty sure. But that would be pretty funny if it was.
Might need to double check that with our SID.
Yeah. Do we have an SID?
No, we are the SID.
Well, we'll ask him next time they play. That's fouled back towards us. That wasn't coming at us, but I dove out of the way like it was.
My glove hand was ready. No glove on it, but it was ready regardless.
You have a pane of glass in front of you. I've got the open world right in front of me.
You never know. There could be some nice cutting action. Comes up over the net in front of us. Cuts through right to left the open window in front of you.
Laying off the high fastball there is Gump on that one. So just a lot of hard hit baseball.
Physics.
Yeah, physics is not something that was my forte in high school, and I'm glad I only take three years of science and 1 year of it in college. But Gumpf here trying to get the runner on as he swings and misses for a strikeout. So there's one down. Culkin coming in and doing what Sarich couldn't do and retire a batter right away.
Yeah, no, interesting arm angle here for Sean Culkin. Always interesting to see how batters try to adapt to that between pitchers. Of course, going from Sarich, who's pretty traditional, lefty delivery, to a little bit different angle here for Sean Culkin.
Culkin's pitch is inside at the elbows of Grant Knipp. Knipp standing in. His last time up, he walked. That's his only at-bat of the game thus far. Knipp, all kinds of power. We saw it. We mentioned it earlier when he was up. And if someone's going to hit a home run, it could be him as he swings and misses. He's certainly going for the downs on that one, but it's 1-1 instead.
Walked and scored the first run to cross for the Big Train in the bottom of that third inning. First of what would turn out to be a fair many.
So that's chopped on the infield. Going to be a tough play. It's flagged down. The throw to first is not even going to be close to being in time. Nice job to not get that into the outfield by Oxier. Cut that one off as that ball was half swung, swinging bunt up the middle. And I think Knipp will take that as a base hit. Raises the batting average to 1,000.
Yeah, I'd like to see what integrity remains of that bat. Almost sounded like a broken bat. Of course, the Ripken League, one of the benefits of this group of teams here in the greater Washington area is they play with wood bats. Of course, a lot of these players used to playing with aluminum.
Come on, Ben. We're not in Great Britain.
Used to playing with the metal bats throughout their college careers, and they get a chance to try out the old pine here throughout the summer.
So taking for a ball, TJ McCants is going to pinch run again for Knipp. So they're allowed to do that. They can call in a guy for a runner.
I do have to double check you there. I don't think it's TJ McCants. I believe that's all the information I have. I think he's not necessarily on the roster, but just getting a chance to show what he can do for Coach Sal Colangelo in these exhibition games. Again, as you can see, playing without the official Big Train jersey, just in that practice T-shirt.
Yeah, so we'll get back on who that is. Maybe we'll send it down to one of our field reporters as Foster hits that one to deep center field, but that's going to be an easy play for the center fielder Cordell as it settles into his mitt for the second out, but Diego's going to get back to first base. Okay. So now standing in at the plate is going to be Jack Cone. Cone, he reached on an error and he flew out his last time. Not sure where. I think he flew out to center his last time up.
Yeah, you called him the Bethesda Shohei. I will give him credit as the runner goes. Fantastic jump there by Diego. Not even a chance for Neff behind the plate especially after he bounced that throw down to second base. But I will give our friend Jack Cone a little bit of credit. I will give him advantage in one thing over Shohei Ohtani. Fantastic hair.
Wonderful facial hair. I mean, the evolution of his facial hair has just been incredible. We'll figure out who Diego is after he steals. There's a swing and a miss by Cone. That comes back and hits the umpire, and he's over in pain. That hit him on the arm. That is not good. Always tough when an umpire gets hit. And that ball was certainly a stinger. It's the home plate umpire there as coaches are going to come out and confer. We'll talk a little bit about Diego, though, once we figure out who he is, but he's got all kinds of speed on the bases. Yeah, and like we said, a tough foul ball back, hit the arm of the umpire. 5-2 right now, the score. The trainers are going to come out and take a look. We see this often in the major leagues. It happens almost every game, and it's not really something you can prepare for, but it goes off the ulnar region of his arm, and that's just never fun. I hope that was right. I'm not good at my anatomy. But
well, I'll tell you one thing. I certainly cannot fact check you on that.
But we'll talk a little bit about the game thus far. At second base, it looks like Diego's chatting it up over there with
yeah,
the
so
guys.
the information I've gotten on him is that he played at the high school where Coach Sal works up in Maryland, down in Virginia, down in Lorton. He's the activities director at C.D. Hilton High School in Woodbridge. That's where Coach Sal works normally. And he's just coming in, of course, like we mentioned, some short-staffed rosters here with players still coming in. from across the country, from their various schools, here to help the players settle and be a decent pinch runner out there, as he's shown through a couple appearances here on the base paths. And of course, we have to give a shout out to our wonderful trainer, Christy Voigt, in her 6th summer with the Big Train, a recent doctorate graduate of athletic training, as Diego tries to get a second stolen base, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning.
Yeah, he was just toast on that one, nowhere close. We'll figure out who he is when we come back here on the broadcast on Big Train TV.
Welcome back here to the top of the 5th. Ben Bobek and Tyler Gallo here with you from Povich Field, the Cabin John Regional Park here on the outskirts of the Washington, D.C. area. Stepping in to bat here for the Silver Spring Tacoma T-Bolts. Christian Maceda will lead things off. Singled in his first plate appearance and popped out to the catcher to end the 2nd inning. Looking to get things going and swings at the first pitch, drives it into the left center gap. That's going to be bouncing short of the wall. Cone will come over to field it off the hop and bounce a throw back into the infield to hold Maceda for a leadoff double.
And it looks like Foster's taken over center field, actually. So, but we have an update to the Diego quota, and we figured out it's Diego Barrett, who is, and we'll take a look at his little stats here. Batted 143 in 4 games down in Woodbridge at the high school coach Sal works at. Diego Barrett was dead as a doornail on that caught stealing play, but he has a 7:18 60-yard dash time, which I can't even fathom to do. So Diego Barrett is your pinch runner.
I prefer just Diego, like Beyonce. Darren Miller stepping into the box now from the left-handed side. Has struck out in both of his plate appearances today and looking to avoid a path towards a sombrero as he takes the 1-0 in the dirt, 2-0.
That's always a tough thing to have, especially in the first game of the season, is a sombrero. Even though it's an exhibition game, still something tough to have.
Not how you want to start off your season. Actually, I think we may have a substitution here. I think this is Zach Martin stepping in from the left-handed side. Will be a true freshman at the University of Maryland, a Middleton, Maryland native. Bats left, throws right, 6 foot 185. And this one chops. Maceda will head down to third. So runner 90 feet away here for Noah Carbajal with no outs in the top of the 5th. Big Train still leading 5-2.
Not the Zach Martin from Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, but
not the Zach Martin that plays offensive guard for the Dallas Cowboys either, if you want to go that route.
Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, what a show, man.
We're already into the Disney Channel portion of the broadcast here, as it's a fantastic play by Sean Ewell to field the ground ball, throw home. But evading the tag is Christian Maceda. And he comes across for the third T-Bolts run of the day, and they cut this lead to 2.
Just a tough play to make, but a great diving stop either way from the first baseman, Sean Ewell. Almost got the runner out. Tough handle for Nip.
Jason Neff now, still in his cleanup spot. Again, back-to-back strikeouts for him in his 2 plate appearances. 1 run already across, no outs, and a runner on first. He'll look to at least put the ball into play this time around. Carbajal set for the 0-1. This one bounces well in front of the plate. Good 2 feet short of the dish there. But Neff couldn't check himself. It's 0-2.
Certainly not even close to being a strike there, a worm burner of a pitch. And it does look like Darius Foster is in center field now, so new outfield alignment for the big train.
0-2 misses outside, ball 1.
But back to the play Sean Ewell made at first, just a tremendous diving stop. Just couldn't get the runner out. Didn't get the shore out at first either.
See, to step into the color role here for a second, I'm okay with that, I think, as a coach, because I think he had as much of a chance getting the runner out at home as he did trying to flip it to Carbajal coming over to cover first. He's in no man's land. He doesn't have a chance to get back to the first base bag for the unassisted putout. So I think it's the right choice there by Sean Ewell to try to fire home and at least prevent the run from scoring. Obviously didn't, and a tough break there, but I still think it was the right decision, as Carbajal now comes set for the 2-2, gets the swinging strike in the dirt. But straight back to the bench will be Jason Neff with his 3rd K of the day.
Just a rough at-bat for Neff, not even close to making contact with any of those pitches there. And he is 3/4 of the way now to the sombrero.
We'll see how many at-bats he actually gets. Maybe that's his final of the day with the way he's been swinging the bat so far. But now it's Tommy Dunleavy's turn to step into the box and try to get something going here in the top of the 5th against Noah Carbajal, swinging through the first one there. 0-1 here. Carbajal working from the stretch. Hasn't had to do that much in his 2 innings of work here, and quickly ahead 0-2 on Tommy Dunleavy. As the 0-2 misses just a bit low. Good breaking ball there from Carbajal. Valiant effort to try to get the swinging strikeout.
Then it does look like the new outfielder is going to be Matt Thomas, so he settles into left field. Foster moves over to center, and it looks like Jack Cohn is out of the game.
Or maybe just sliding over to his designated hitter, perhaps, switching with Thomas. As there is the swinging strikeout from Noah Carbajal. He sends Tommy Dunleavy back to the dugout disappointed. The 2nd strikeout of the day for the T-Bolts left fielder.
It's been a rough day at the plate for some of these guys, but a couple of them have put in some good at-bats.
9 strikeouts so far for the T-Bolts offense through 4 2/3 innings. They have gotten 1 run across here in the top of the 5th. Perhaps looking to put another runner into scoring position here.
And it looks like Gump is in right field still, so that's your outfield alignment, Thomas, Foster, and Gump. Cohn is out of the game or at the designated hitter position. We'll figure that out soon.
Out of the defense, at least. Here's the 0-1. Misses low in the dirt. Even the count. Zach Smith on first. Zach Martin, rather, on first for the T-Bolts. Dylan Oxier at the plate. 0 for 1. Reached on a fielder's choice in the first, grounded out to second in the fourth. 2 outs here. At the top of the fifth. Carbajal in his second inning of work and trying to avoid another run here across for the T-Bolts. Comes set, hands at the belt from the stretch and bounces another pitch. Good job by Grant Nipp to get up on top of that one and prevent Martin from advancing any further.
Yeah, great job of Nipp behind home plate. We've seen some great defense from him today in general, not really missing too many balls, almost throwing the runner out at second. He's got a pretty good arm at second base, and you kind of have to if you go to Alabama.
Yeah, and, Nipp, interesting enough, another one of those players who didn't get to play much this spring. Tough to crack that Alabama starting roster as a freshman. Some may want to debate their merits as a College World Series team. We can get into that at a later point in time, but certainly still a really tough program to crack into in your first year out of high school. And so Nipp, again, one of those players who will be looking to regain the rhythm of being an everyday player over the summer. As it's full count, runner going, check swing, and that will end the inning right there. Carbajal strikes out the side after allowing the run and another single. 3 straight strikeouts to end the fifth inning. We head to the bottom of the fifth. 5-3, Big Train still lead at Povich Field. Sean Culkin. Sean Culkin back on the bump for his second inning of work. And we get an answer pretty quickly about Jack Cohn's status. Looks like he'll stay in the game as the designated hitter, not out there defensively in the last half inning. But he'll lead off the bottom of the fifth here after standing in the box as Diego is thrown out trying to get his second stolen base of the last half frame for the Big Train and comes up swinging there, chops this one foul into the netting down the third base line.
So it seems like Diego Barrett's going to get the assignment.
Just Diego.
Diego Barrett's going to get.
Just Diego.
Go Diego, go, they should say, as he runs to second base. But yeah, he'll get the assignment when Grant Nipp gets aboard as he
I'm
has
not
twice.
acknowledging that one.
Yeah, it's all right. You don't have to. But yeah, we discovered that it was Diego Barrett, and he's actually a George Mason commit. So, and he's got a 7:18 60-yard dash time. So certainly all kinds of speed. Maybe not doing it with the bat, but if he can pick up his bat skills, he could be here next year very well in the actual lineup and having an actual jersey on.
We'll have no problem spotting him. Easy to spot without the white Bethesda across that trap line. As Cohn works himself ahead in the count here, 3-1. Good hitters count. And takes ball 4 inside. And the designated hitter, Jack Cohn, works a walk for his second trip down to first base. Reached on an error way back in the first. Was caught stealing. So keep an eye out for what he tries to do on the base paths here, as that'll bring up Nolan Shanuel. The rising sophomore, doubled and scored in his last plate appearance. And with a runner on here, will be looking to put another one into the gap like he did last time up.
And we know that Coach Sal's teams are going to run like crazy, and that's exactly what they've done, and that's probably exactly what he had bringing Diego Barrett onto the running staff. But, yeah, it's just they need to continue to tack on in this inning. They're up by 2 right now. The lead is good, but they need to add on to it because if they want to continue their dominance, they should add on.
Shawneel chops this one towards Hauser at second base. Over to second and able to turn the double play to Brown at first. 4-6-3. And just like that, bases clear and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th.
And there it is, our first double play of the season. Could have had one earlier in the game, but a bobble at second base by Gauthier, I believe it was. And that'll bring up Matt Thomas, who's now slotted into left, excuse me.
As good of a time as any to mention the last game that Matt Thomas played here at Shirley Povich Field, the 2019 Cal Ripken Collegiate Summer League Championship game that ended in some drama in the 8th inning, as we'll get to in a moment here. Thomas, a returning big trainer, and looking to get his first at-bat here, takes a very soft breaking ball way inside there from Colkin.
Thomas has had some tough luck today, but he did get a sacrifice fly earlier in the game. He flew out to left, and then he got that sacrifice fly, got the runner over to third.
Takes strike 2 straight down the pipe, 2-2 here with 2 outs. 2's all across the scoreboard out there in left center. As here's the 2-2, swung and foul back, and that will give us a chance to show you a little flashback way back to 2019. Perhaps if it decided to work, we'll bring you right back here to now, as it's ball 3, or another foul rather, pardon me. Doesn't look like our video wants to cooperate, but just to break it down for you, bottom of the 8th in that 2019 championship game, Thomas steps to the plate with 2 runners on and sends one straight over the center field fence to get the big train back into that one. Was a 4-3 deficit after Thomas's 3-run bomb. They'd later come back to score 3 more and take home that 2019 championship, 6-4 over this very team, the T-Bolts.
So you mentioned the scoreboard a little bit earlier, and I want to touch on some ground rules here. Really the only one we have to worry about this year. So while it's 2 different colors on the scoreboard, as you can see out there on our broadcast, we wish we could have a camera on it, but we're still working with what we got here. It's a bit of a lighter shade of green. You can see that little train on top of it. That is in play. So that's really hard to clear for a home run, but it's in play if it bounces off of it, even though it's a different color, which you would think maybe if it's a different color, it'd be a home run if you hit the top of it. But nope, the whole scoreboard's in play.
As Thomas sends this one back, deep drive to right, and again caught against the wall for out number 3. Thomas has given 2 balls, pretty far rides out there to right center field, just not able to get that one across the fence. Instead, it's the 3rd out, and that will take us to the top of the 6th inning. Big Train unable to add anything. They still hold a 2-run lead, 5-3 here from Povich Field.